Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Hello, everyone. I'm Geline. I'm a mom of four kids, and I'm an online business mentor. And today I have a very special guest. I've been doing these interviews with the hopes of inspiring more people to check into this great opportunity that we also found online. And, a lot of people are not aware of it. So, our goal is to help you guys, hopefully, educate you and inform you about this amazing opportunity. So, today I have a guest here. He's also Filipino and he's a nurse. So I'm so excited to hear his story, and I hope that his story would resonate with some of you guys. Okay, so
Yeah.
without further ado, everyone, please help me welcome Paolo. Hi, Paolo.
Hi, thanks for having me, Geline. It's funny when you say he's Filipino because Filipinos don't even think I'm Filipino whenever I'm here. Like if I'm here in Canada, but when I visited twice the Philippines, they never thought I was Filipino. They always think I'm mestiza or mixed or that. So it's funny, but I understand Tagalog a lot. I
Oh,
just
you
can
do?
barely. Yeah, yeah, but I can barely speak it, but I'm going to relearn it at some point. But for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Paulo Perlejas. I was born in Manila, but I moved to Calgary, Alberta, Canada when I was 6 months old. And then I lived there for quite a while, and now I live here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And as mentioned, I've been a nurse, and so I've been nursing for over 2 decades now. And I've worked in many areas of nursing, from inpatient hospitals to working for pharmaceutical in the corporate industry. I worked for, and then currently I've worked for informatics, like with the whole patient medical record stuff. And then currently I work in oncology, clinical trials research. So I dabbled in a lot of different nursing areas because I get bored easily. But as many of you who have family members or friends who work in healthcare, it's a very stressful industry because this is where you are looking out for a lot of people and you forget to look out for yourself.
Yeah.
And that resulted in me burning out twice in my nursing profession. So the first time I actually quit nursing and went into the corporate part of healthcare, loved it and everything, but they work you to the bone working
Yes.
corporate. And if any of you have had a chance to do it, I mean, you're aware that you get mid evaluations and then end of the year evaluations to prove to them that you deserve your bonus at the end of the year.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of work because you have to track every little thing that you do extra on top of what you're doing, and all those little extra things, they dig into your personal time. So it's
Mhm.
like you have to do after work. And for me, that's where I draw the line. And like, because your personal time is very precious. It's meant for yourself, for your family, to spend time with your family, your kids, if you have kids, your partner, not for work. But that's what it led me to with that pharmaceutical company. And so I was working 10 to 16-hour days in that job and
Wow.
traveling a lot. And so I quit there, and because it was really affecting my eyes too, because a lot of it I was on the computer for so long and my eyes would get strained and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And so I quit that and went back into nursing again with clinical research, but more in the casual role. And so I was just taking on like mat leaves, picking up shifts, and I enjoyed it because I didn't really have a patient load. So anyhow, with experiencing those burnouts, that's what I realized I needed to find something different. And that's how I came across this online business through just a social media post, because I actually know the founders of our system. Like I know one of them personally before I they started the whole business, and so I was just following them. I was just following their journey,
Your
and
post?
yeah, and through the post, like I would say within 6 months of them posting their success of what they've been able to accomplish, my instinct was just saying like, Paulo, look into this, like watch the free webinar to see what it's about. And I did, and that's like 6 years, just over 6 years later, and I'm so glad I took the leap, took the risk, and went into this direction of being an entrepreneur. So yeah, I will stop there because I know you have other questions, and so
No, it's okay. You pretty much tackled my first question actually with Paolo before you found the online business. And it's great. It's funny when you say that, yeah, most people don't know you're Filipino. Actually, I didn't think so too. But then because I saw you on your interviews and you mentioned you're Filipino, that's why I said, but yeah, if I don't know you, if I haven't seen, probably I won't think you're Filipino. But
Yeah,
yeah, and it's true. It's burnout because when you think about it, nurses are pretty good paying job. But then the quality of life, that's what really is a disadvantage. Like you're always on call, you're taking care of other people, especially with the pandemic. I noticed a lot of nurses, and you guys are unsung heroes.
yeah,
You dedicated your life to the point that sometimes you don't get to see your family because you want to protect them too, right?
yeah.
So thank you, Paolo, for sharing that. So aside from being burned out from your job before and as a nurse, what are your whys for
One more.
starting the online business?
Yes, so burnout was one of them. The second was so I have a few whys, and so the second is, as I mentioned, I worked in many different areas of nursing, and being in Canada when you're in a union, your seniority doesn't take into account all your years for vacation.
Hmm.
So anytime you go to new hospital, new clinic, your vacation resets. And so I always reset to the default of what any new nurse would start. So although I have 20 plus years of nursing knowledge and experience, I get the same amount of vacation that a new nurse who's just starting off gets. And for me, that's not fair in the sense that employers are expecting me to be a leader. They expect me to do a lot more work. They know
Yeah.
because he's done this and this that he is going to be able to educate or mentor people. And for me, that's not fair because
Yeah.
I worked so hard in my career to get to where I'm at, and I tried different things, and I don't think it's fair that we get penalized for
Yeah.
not getting enough vacation because 4 weeks vacation honestly is not enough in any industry. With the amount of stresses, no matter what industry you're in, it could be in like in marketing, it could be in oil and gas, it could be in anything. There's a lot of stresses because a lot of places now are very short staff, and so when you're short staffed, when they let go people, those responsibilities of those people that were let go gets put onto other people, and so you're already tackling additional workload, and so that adds on additional stress. And like I said, 4 weeks is not enough. I think 6 to 8 weeks is should be our standard because every time all the stuff I've been reading about taking time off from work, it helps reset your thinking, resets your physiology of your body to recover from the stresses because when you're always on that constant fight or flight mode, which a lot
Mm.
of us are when we are in that stress level, your body takes a toll, and that's what leads to burnout. That's the second reason why I started that, so I can have more ability to have more vacation. So not
Mhm.
meaning like I can go off for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, but like more extended vacation. I can take more Fridays off and have a long weekend and so on. And then the other one is just before I turned 33, I was diagnosed with a rare neuromuscular disorder called cervical dystonia. So the part of the brain that controls muscle movement, it was sending too many signals to my neck here. And
Yeah.
so within a period of 8 weeks, I lost full control, voluntary control of my head. So it felt like somebody was using a remote control and turning my head to the right. And it started off as a stiff neck. And then as the weeks progressed, it just started jerking to the right more, and it got more aggressive when I would be getting angry of like why I can't control my head. And the turning got really aggressive that it pinched the nerve between my spine, and so I lost full control of my right arm as well at the same time. And so, like I said, in 8 weeks, it happened very quickly. The doctors didn't know what was happening. I was getting misdiagnosed or saying, "Oh, it's nothing. It's just gonna go away," but it didn't.
Mhm.
But yeah, I end up getting diagnosed properly through actually one of through one actually was my physiotherapist who diagnosed
Oh,
me, not the actual physicians. And so I end up getting proper work. Like I get treatment. I get Botox in my neck and so on. But at the time period when I was going through all of that, because the only comfortable way for me to actually not have my head turning and feel comfortable was lying down in bed. And so I thought in my mind that that was how it's gonna, that was my new baseline. This is how I'm gonna live. My mom flew out for my birthday thinking she was coming for my birthday, but then I had to tell her what was happening. And so she ended up, instead of a week stay, she stayed for 4 months, like 3 or 4 months, helped me do the whole rehabilitation stuff. But at that time, I was not worried. I was not focusing on my health. I was not focusing on how to get healthy again. You know what I was focused on? Because at that time, I just moved into a new place as
Yeah.
well. So I was with my ex. I was worried about who's going to pay the mortgage, who's going to pay the bills. How am I going to like save money because I'm not working properly? And when I go back to work, am I going to be able to like actually work normally in that way? So a lot of it was tied to money, and I told myself I don't ever want to have to stress about money again. And
Mhm.
so that was another sort of reason that pushed me towards finding something online. And then the last reason is just to help my mom have a much more better retirement. She's retired about several years ago, but she's living off a pension, and it's not much.
It's not
When I look,
enough. Yeah.
no, when I look at it, it's only enough to pay for rent and then just the basics. It's not enough for her to go on trips, go on a cruise, go on vacation, see family. It's not enough. And I want to help her experience that because that's what retirement should be, right? You know, it
Yeah.
should be seeing your cousins, your titas, your like every family and stuff. But she's just in Calgary. Like it's tough for her to fly out, and so I want to be able to take her on like cruises and go take her to Europe. She's never been to Europe, and do all that stuff because as I'm getting older, I'm realizing there's little less time that you're going to be able to spend with your parents, and I want to take advantage of that when that take advantage of it in the sense that I can give her that experience because they sacrificed a lot coming out here to Canada with leaving the Philippines. And then I remember how much they worked. They worked so much overtime. We were living in a little basement apartment, and we didn't really have much. And my mom and dad would work overtime, and like for us, as we became as we were longer and stayed longer in Canada, they started working more and buying us the things that we wanted. So I know they made a lot of sacrifices, and I want to be able to get back to them. So I know my why is very long-winded, but it's just so many things that have combined for me that all these whys that combine together to help me take this, push me
Yeah.
to take the risk. And as
Yeah.
I mentioned, I'm glad I did because it's made the tunnel that was stretched out and it was getting darker and darker. It made me it's lit a light at the end of the tunnel, knowing that I can get to a brighter future and get to a future where I have more control with my finances, more control with my time, and more control with being able to help others see that there is an out from the system that we all thought was going to help us create a better life, but it's just helping us go into more debt, worry about the cost of living because are we going to be able to pay for rent, or do we need to, like, you have to pick and choose. I know some people are picking and choosing, like pay rent, pay gas, pay for
Yeah.
food. Like, it's tough, and so that's my mission now is to, I know it used to be about the money, but now my mission is because I know the system works. I know it's been tried and tested. It's a proven system that I want to show to as many people as possible so that they too can start living life and living a quality life. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm sorry to hear about your medical condition, Paolo. Are you okay now? Like
oh
everything has been
it's
cleared and you're healed?
I'm not healed. It's something chronic I have to live with. So I get
Okay.
Botox in my neck every 16 to 18 weeks. But that was my lowest I've ever come to in my life. And so I always look at that as my baseline of knowing that I can pick myself up from that level of my lowest to where I
Mhm.
am now. I mean, it took me over 2 years to get to get my neck straight and get sort of control of my neck. But I remind myself that if there's any hardships in my business, I just remind myself, Paula, look what you were able to get
Yeah,
through health-wise, that
that's
you can
true.
get over this little hump.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, thanks for your words, but no, it's made me a stronger person, honestly. And
Yeah.
I want to be more with this business too. I want to create a foundation and like be an advocate for this disorder as well, because it only affects 3% of the population. So not a lot of people hear about it. And so I want more awareness of it because a lot of people get misdiagnosed and live with it for years. And I want to be a voice for that, to show people that, like, especially teach physicians, like family physicians, to know these symptoms so that they can properly diagnose and get these people treated correctly. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you. That's really, you're having a purpose now for leaving, right? It's
Mhm.
bigger than yourself now. And
Mhm.
I really admire your dedication to your mom. I've seen some posts of yours that
Yeah.
you're bringing her to different countries. So that's very sweet of you. You really
Mhm.
have the Filipino heart in you. We always want
Yeah.
to give back to our family. And that's
Yeah.
great. For me, you're lucky your mom's still here. My dad, well, my mom's still here too, but my dad, I always regret because he passed away 10 years ago. And at that point,
Yeah.
I was financially struggling too. I was a single mom at that time. I just, you know, ah, yeah, so many things that I wished this business was there already 10 years ago when I was struggling, because it would have made a big difference because I didn't get to see my dad before he passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's
so it was painful, because you need to choose between sending the money or going home. And
yeah.
he needs medical help and, treatments. So obviously we just have to send money. So, but yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for reminding us how important giving back to our parents is, because,
Yeah.
they're not young anymore.
No.
And it's
Yeah.
it's nice to give back and for them to experience retirement, especially they've worked so hard.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a little
I know. I,
emotional for both of us, but this is good. People can relate to us that we have struggles, but because of this business, it's giving us hope that things
yeah.
will get better and we
Hmm.
have more positive things that could happen to you guys.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're still working right now. So how are you able to juggle your business and working?
Being a nurse, 'cause I work from home, so I take breaks. And so even before, when I was actually going into the clinics and seeing patients, I would wake up a bit earlier in the morning. And then I would do about 30 minutes to an hour with the business. And then at lunch, instead of just taking a break, going through social media, I actually will come up and create posts for my businesses. And I have a list, like I just keep a track, like a list of future posts that I want to be posting. So sometimes I'll have like
Mhm.
2 weeks of content that I can pre-post, and so I'll work on that during my breaks. And then after work, I will do a bit of work on the business. I can do 30 minutes to 2 3 hours. Just really depends, because for me, it's not really work when I'm creating content or creating a reel or creating a video for my business, because it's the creative side that when
Mhm.
I'm working on it, it's an hour, 2 3 4 hours will pass, and I will think it was only 30 minutes,
Yeah.
because I'm just like excited
You're
to
having
create.
fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
having a lot. It is a lot of fun. It's not work to me. It's stuff I used to do when I was a kid in high school. I remember I love taking photography. I like drawing. I like doing a lot of that creative stuff. And so this is so nice that it's surfaced back up again, that I can actually do it and then post it on my business pages. And I can't wait. I'm always constantly trying to get better at what I do. So it's like I've taken photography classes, like a course. I want to take more of it. I have a drone. I want to take a course for how to fly the drone better so I can take better shots. Like I want to add more stuff, because I want to become more of a really great videographer, because I
Mhm.
can use that not just towards my business. I do have plans for starting up other businesses that use that aspect of videography too. So yeah, it's that balance. You'll find it. And even if you're working, if you have other commitments, you have kids, you will find it, because if you want change in your life, you will make the time, and you'll learn to cut out things that are not income producing. So I cut
Mhm.
out Netflix. I cut out scrolling through social media, just for the sake of scrolling through. I'll scroll through it to find inspiration, to find ideas of what's trending, what people are doing. But I won't spend an hour or 2 hours looking through it. And like for Netflix, with my partner, I will watch Netflix as a reward to myself. So if I
Yeah.
finish 30 minutes, an hour of business, then I'm going to reward myself with watching an episode on the show, and that's it. But a lot of times I'm trying to put in a lot of the work now, because when you make those sacrifices now, then you will see the rewards down the road. And I hear this many times from a lot of millionaires and billionaires, and say you have to make the sacrifices now in order to enjoy your abundance later. So that's what I'm doing now. And I there's this quote. I was just watching thing on TikTok. It says I wish it says if you oh yeah, you're I can't remember. It's like something like you're constantly looking for some change, but then it's because the change isn't happening because you're not putting the time into it for some change. And I think a lot of people, I won't say there's people who will want to make a change, but it's tough for them to take that first step. And so what my suggestion is, always just start little, start small, do 10, 15 minutes and make that a habit, and then
Mm-hmm.
gradually build on it, because taking an hour or two can be a lot for people, especially when you have kids. Because I work, I have really close friends within the community that have like you've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Georgia's another good friend of mine in the business, and she's got 5 kids. And so I don't know how you guys do it with kids, but you find a way to do it. And it's just, yeah, because I think it's just knowing the sweet spot of being able to do it and knowing when you can take that time and then have proper time management,
Mm-hmm.
and that's key things.
Yeah. And that's a great thing too with our business, right? We teach you efficiency tools that we can use. Like you can, schedule your posts. So that time management is very crucial when, yeah, for me, schedule works for me. I have to have a schedule for my daytime, for my
Yeah,
work life, for my family life, for my business life.
yeah,
It can be chaotic at times, but as long as there's a schedule, you have a set mind, you get, like what Paula said, if you really want something so bad, you'll find
yeah.
time for it.
And the
Yes.
thing is, we all have a phone, right? We all have a
Yeah.
phone, and so once you get for people who are watching this, once you get the whole business set up, a lot of it's automated and you can do a lot of things on your phone. So if you're at a doctor's appointment waiting, you can do a bit of the business. If you're at your kid's soccer game, you can be on the bench doing a bit of the business and answering questions from people who are potentially looking to the business. There's so many windows of opportunities to work on the business. It could be like five
Hmm.
minutes here, 10 minutes there, 30 minutes there, and it all adds up in the whole entire day. So that's the beauty about this business, about technology now, because we have everything on our fingertips. That's the
Yeah.
thing. But we are teaching people how to leverage social media and automation to monetize what they're doing, versus because I have a lot of friends that post on social media, but they're just posting for personal
Yeah.
reasons.
They're
But
not
I'm like,
earning.
not
Yeah.
earning, but I'm like, you can totally turn that post into an earning income post if I
Yeah.
teach you how to do this. But I don't know. It's sometimes change for people is a lot. And I don't know if you were, I don't know if you've been around for a while within the community, but I did a mastermind about change. I did a topic because for those who,
You did. I did. I
yeah,
actually just watched it in preparation for this interview. You were
oh,
with, yeah, with Pamela Kinga at that time. Like she shared the
yeah,
6 age, oh, that's the milestone stuff. And
yeah,
yeah, that was a really powerful sharing or presentation you did there. So yeah, but
yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, because the whole change thing is, and I got that presentation from um, I think it was a psychologist who her topic was like, why don't patients listen? And then there's points I got from out of there, but a lot of it is more scientific. There's different stages of change, and so if people aren't ready at if they're not at that stage in their life for change, they won't step in and take that risk. Even no matter how much you push them, no matter how much you show them information, it may take them to hit rock bottom. It may take them to lose their job. It may take them to the point where they don't have enough savings, or they get sick or something. That it's sad to say, but it may take certain people those experiences to actually make change.
Yeah.
And what we're what I'm trying to show people is that you need to take, like with you being healthy already, take that initiative and be proactive and get ahead financially, because we all knew what happened over the pandemic, how people lost their jobs no matter how long they worked at a specific job. People were being let go. So like to you, you're just a number to employers, because it comes to the bottom line for costs of them to save. And so um, you can't rely on your day job anymore, as a job security. No matter how long you've been in a job, you got to be able to have other income streams, and this is what we're showing you, is other income streams. You know, we're not saying this is plan A, but this can be your plan B that turns into plan A later on down the road. Because although a lot of people who are doing this business in our community are not happy with their jobs, there's still a handful of people that love their job, but they just want to make extra money so that they can
Yeah.
send money to their family. They can, build their cottage. They can have a better pension and a better retirement. So there's different scenarios or why reasons, different reason why people want to do this business. But yet, like we said, we're just here to show you an opportunity that's legitimate, and that can be done worldwide. So
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Coach Paulo. So yeah, it's very interesting how many people, you're so right. Some people are not ready for change. And
mhm,
sometimes sadly, you need to have that really desperate in situation to prompt you to really, okay, we need another plan B or something, right? So I just want to acknowledge some of the people who are watching us. Sorry if I can see you guys. We have a comment from Noemi, not Sonia Carr here. Hi, Coach Paolo. So she's watching from Fort St. John, BC, and she said that thank you for sharing, Coach Paolo. I'm so inspired by your success and praying for your health. Yes.
thank you.
Okay. So thank you, Nuts. Nuts is my coach. So she's the one actually who introduced me to the business. And like what you just mentioned, the first time she showed me the business was back in 2019. But at that time, I wasn't ready. And
Yeah,
then 2 years after, I've seen her achievements, and that's what prompted me to say, "Oh, what is she doing?" So
yeah,
don't learn from my mistakes, guys. Don't take, if you see an opportunity, jump into it, take the risk, study it, do your own research. There's no harm in checking out,
mm,
especially that's why the goal of this interview is you guys can get to know us. Hopefully you will like and trust us, and
mhm,
we can help you change your life for the better. Okay,
yeah,
so for our next question for you, Paula. So as an entrepreneur, there's always ups and downs. So
yeah.
how do you maintain a positive attitude in terms, like, during the ups and downs of your business?
So if there's downs in the business, so as I mentioned before, I look back to my that health sort of scenario that
Mhm.
happened as a reminder. And then the other thing too is I look for support within our community, and I created some really great relationships with people in our community that end up being strangers that became to like business colleagues that became to really good friends. And
Wow.
so I turned to them for support, and saying like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. Like there's times I wanted to actually quit a few times because things were staying stagnant, and like, I wasn't really moving along with the business. But I have to also remind myself that everything in life all happens for a reason, including the timing of everything. And so I know there's a purpose of why things are going the way they are. And I may not know at that time, but I have to just remind myself that everything's all happening for a reason. And so that's what I use to help me kind of keep going. And also, I watch the masterminds within our community that we have every week, because seeing hearing the stories of people, when they've reached those certain ranks, of being able to like get from where they were at the lowest in their lives to them like being able to take trips anytime, or buying a new house in their sort of their previous country that they used to live in. Like there's just such great inspiration to keep you going, and saying that if that person can do it, who's using the exact same system, then I can do it as well. So those are the things that I use to help me kind of keep pushing forward and saying like, don't give up. And then the other reminder too is like, um, when I was working that contract job with the whole patient medical record system, they on a Friday afternoon they called an emergency meeting, because they found out a lot of people were getting so stressed out, because they weren't meeting deadlines, project deadlines, and they were working like on the weekends, like weeknights and so on, and people were crying and like stressed. And I was like, I am so lucky to have my business that I don't have to deal with those sort of stresses that those
Yeah.
people are dealing with. And like there's parts of me I'm like, I want to just put my link in there and be like, here, like
Yes,
watch this.
there's an
You want
option. Yeah.
This isn't a
Yeah.
way. This you don't need to like. I don't. I think the thing is people need to realize that they have a choice in everything in life. But sometimes the hardest choice is to actually step away from something that they are feeling comfortable with, because that comfort level is because a lot of it is stems to the financial part. You're getting your paychecks from that job, which is understandable because yeah, people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you're not happy in a job or what you're doing, there's no point staying with something that is going to cause you more stress, more grief, or a job that's not gonna that you have to really prove to your employer that you're worth that bonus or you're worth that extra pay raise. Like it's sad. Like it's really sad that we have to prove ourselves in the sense of working a lot or doing extra work in order to show the employer that we're valuable people or employers or employees for that company. Um,
Mhm.
so sorry, that's a sidetrack thing,
That's
but
okay. It's okay. It's all valuable information that we would love to share. And thank you for sharing that, Paolo, Coach Paolo. So so how long have you been in the business now, Coach?
over 6 years. I
Six
started in
years.
January 2017. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what are your achievements, positive changes in your life since you started an online business?
So I'll start with like personal development. It's improved I've seen a lot of personal growth. So I'm backstage, we are chatting before we went live, but I have major stage fright. I
Mhm.
really was deathly afraid to be in front of people. Being Filipino, we all love, like, Filipino culture loves to sing karaoke. You know
Yeah.
that. But whenever I would do it, like the little times I've done it, I would start sweating. I would start like my heart be racing, and I'm like, I can't really say. And then I'm like, that's how nervous I get. So compared to what I was in the past to what I am now to where I am now, I'm a lot more comfortable being in front of the camera. Like for me to do a live like this, like 5, 6 years ago, I would have been like, hell no, I couldn't do this. But
Mhm.
I forced myself, and I've learned to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And anytime I start feeling nervous, I'll just kind of take a pause and take a deep breath and then just keep going, because sometimes it's just that adrenaline that can cause that you think is nervousness, but it's actually more adrenaline. And
Mhm.
so I've just been doing a lot more of these. Like even in the community, I um, host like a group of people where we interview people who reach major milestones. So I do interviews with that, and there are hundreds or thousands of people that will watch that as well. And then with our we had our fundamentals mastermind for people who were doing starting off the new business. I remember I hosted that for about a year, or about, I think about a year and a half. And so I would co-host that, and there'd be between 500 to over 1,000 people sometimes watching that live. And I would just force myself to put myself in those uncomfortable situations. But it's led me to here, which I'm really glad, because there's other things I want to do, like interview. Like I want to interview other people outside of this community. Like I've done it with my cousin, who's also she is she does microblading in
Mhm.
California. So I did an interview with her on Instagram, just talking about how we're both the youngest, and yet we both are the ones that are entrepreneurs starting our own business and so on. But she's got 25,000 followers on her Instagram. Like she's got a lot
Wow.
of people. And so I forced myself to do it because I'm like, it's just something I want to be able to do to help push my business to go further. And yeah, stay tuned, people. Like, what, follow me, because I do want to interview like other people outside of this whole business who's gone through life challenges in that sense, because my whole branding is about quality of life, improving, spending more time with family and friends, and a lot of that ties into your life challenges as well. So yeah, that's one of the major things I've accomplished with this business is personal development. And then financially, I would say the biggest one is what I earn in 2 months as a nurse. I've earned it in 2 weeks with this business.
Wow.
Uh, so that's that's just a small amount compared
Mhm.
to some of our other business colleagues, like I said, who are using the exact same system, are making between sometimes 4, 5, 6 figures a month in this business. So sky's the limit. There
Yeah.
is no cap with what you can make. And I find the more you're consistent, the more hard work you put in this business, the more you stay connected to your mentors and coaches and the masterminds, the more successful you will be in this business. So yeah,
Mhm.
those are the accomplishments I've had so far. And I know there's going to be more because I have a vision board and
Yeah.
a lot
No,
of this
that
thing.
was so sorry. Yeah, that was so inspiring, Coach Paolo. Yeah, it's amazing how personal growth in this business really changed. I myself too. Like before we went online, I was telling him I'm nervous. I've been doing interviews, but you're still nervous. And for those
Yeah,
of you who are watching, don't be scared if you guys are scared of doing all this stuff. It will come to you. You know, gradually you will improve yourself because you're gonna push yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens.
yeah,
Don't stay up being comfortable because there's no breakthrough in being comfortable. So just step
yeah,
out of your courage zone, and yeah,
yeah,
great
and
things can happen to you.
I compare it to like a job too, because when you first start off as a newbie in the job, you don't really know a lot of things, and so you're hesitant to do a lot of things. So you just do the basics. But as you get more into that job, like 6 months, 8 months, a year now, 2 years from now, you start getting comfortable. You know what you're doing, and then you'll get promoted to being like assistant manager or a manager, and so on. So that's the same sort of process with this business. Although at the beginning, you're still learning the ins and outs. It's a gradual thing that you will at some point start doing these lives. You'll become a coach later, and it's an organic process basically, and
Mhm.
it will happen naturally when you start feeling comfortable to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for the interest of time, Coach, any last words for our viewers who are watching this live and also on the replay? Do you have anything you want to leave with them before we go?
Yeah, so I would say don't wait for the right time to start anything because you'll see a month from now, I'll look into it, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, and then a year passes and you're still in the same situation as you were the year before. Um, if you are really wanting to look into something, just follow your gut instinct. Your gut instinct is what saves you from a lot of other things in life. And so if your gut instinct is telling you to maybe I should watch this information webinar. It's free. It's 90 minutes. I know 90 minutes is long, but yet Netflix, there's a lot of shows that are TV or actually movies that are 2, 3 hours long on Netflix. So if you have time for Netflix, you've got time to watch this information webinar that could potentially change the course of your life. And ask a lot of questions because we are here to help you do your due diligence so that you can make an informed decision and see if this is the right thing for you. But it all starts with watching that information webinar. I know a lot of people that I talk to as a coach, they have looked into other online stuff. They may have been scammed and stuff as well too. And so they have all these preconceived um, ideas of what this business might be about. And so I'm getting asked all these questions. Is it this? Is it that? Like, I'm like, please watch the information webinar. This is what I always guide people, even my friends and family, to watch it. And if I get the excuse that they don't, I have friends that say I don't have time to watch it. Then I'm like, you know what? Then you're not serious. I'm sorry. Don't waste my time. You're not serious. I'm here to find serious people who want to make a change in their life. So don't wait. If you are resonating with either any of us and you want to learn more about this business opportunity, we'll start at the information webinar. And then from there, form your questions, and then we'll be happy to answer your questions afterwards. And find other sources of income streams. There's other stuff online. There's, we're one of the biggest ones online, but there are other ones as well too. But when you're looking for when you're inquiring about those other income streams online, do those questions, do your due diligence, ask questions so that you don't get scammed. Because we see it all the time within our community, and we want to make sure that you are being able to connect with other people online as well too. But like I said, our system, our products that we have, and it's legitimate. We get tax slips at the end of the year, and so it's something that is long term. It's something that will help create generational wealth. It's something that you can pass to your kids if if you don't want to do the business more, or if you end up God forbid, but if you pass away, you can pass it down to your kids. I can't pass my nursing career down to my niece or nephew. I don't have kids, but I can't pass it down to anyone. This you can pass down to. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Paolo. Thank you, Coach Paolo, for everything, for your time today. And yes, to everyone, to all of you guys who are watching us live and on the replay, we have a free live webinar every Tuesday and Thursday. Replay is also provided. So if you can't make it live, just log on. There's two websites showing up on my screen right now. This is Coach Paolo's and myself. So feel free to log in, enter your name and email address so you can get the exclusive link. And we hope to see you guys on the inside and get to know you. And hopefully we can help you change your life. So again, thank you, Coach Paolo, for your time, for your generosity, for all your help, for being such a great leader in this community. We really, really appreciate you. And may God bless you more. Okay.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys pretty soon for more interviews. And feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions. Okay. Have a good night, everyone.